business trip.
Did the people move around?
It does tingle a little bit. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Matt with the DPI podcast. Over on the other screen, it is Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel. He is all over the screen, all on your face. He is ready to go.
Oh, if only I had a jalapeno.
Or if you were bilingual, you could be one of the hosts for the Encanto show at Disney World.
I already am. I have an interview tomorrow.
If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. If you haven't been here, this is our favorite part of the show because I am going to pull a chip out of this bag. It is going to line up with a category on a spreadsheet, and we are going to have 30 seconds to figure out our top three or bottom three for that category. And tonight's number is number 24.
This is going to be known as the one where I ate the pizza.
Number 24. This not planned at all. Top three topiaries at Flower Garden. You have 30 seconds.
Amazing.
Thinking about taking a trip to Disneyland, Disney World, maybe a Disney cruise, or one of the other amazing Disney destinations? Contact me at Princess of the Mouse, and I'd love to work with you on your itinerary to the most magical places in the world.
You can contact Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel on Facebook at PATM Disney Travel.
Fantastic.
This one's hysterical because if you were on for the new segment, we were talking about all the new topiaries that are part of this year's Flower and Garden Festival. But we are going to give you our top three from past festivals, I guess, because neither one of us have been to the festival this year. I guess we could use.
I want.
I guess we could use one of the ones from this year, but
I've seen a picture.
All right, you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I don't care. You ready to go? Go for it.
All right, I'll start out with one, and this one may not even be back this year. I haven't seen anything about it.
I'll let you know because I have a list in front of me.
Okay, so if you go over towards the Land Pavilion, you're coming out of Port of Entry, going towards the Land Pavilion, there's a set of restrooms off to the right-hand side as you're going back towards those pavilions over there, and there is a relatively large topiary that is the Lion King topiary, with Simba and Rafiki and Nala and Zazu and a lot of the characters. You're shaking your head. No Zazu?
No, it's Sarabi. It's not Nala, it's Sarabi.
Oh, it's Sarabi. Okay.
Yeah, it's his mom.
So, but multiple characters from the Lion King movie, and just, all of these topiaries are so well done. But no, just a really good multi-character one, kind of off the beaten path. So if you're going around like up by the Imagination Pavilion, you're going to miss it. You actually have to cut down by those bathrooms to actually see this one. So I'm going to start out with the Lion King topiary, and I'm just going to say in the world nature section.
Yeah, it is. It's right. Yeah, you spotted it perfectly. It's right before those bathrooms. You nailed it. All
right, where are you going for your number three?
Okay, that's gonna be my number one, but you're probably gonna bring it up. This sucks. Okay, I am gonna go over by Test Track. One of my favorite topiaries is over there, and it is the topiary of Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Classic characters, especially for you 80s, 90s kids that grew up with DuckTales and Tailspin and all of that other stuff that Donald's boisterous little nephews got themselves involved in. And so Huey, Dewey, and Louie kind of became some of my favorite characters. And what I love about the new series of Lorcana is the Huey, Dewey, and Louie cards in the Sapphire that all play into each other, which is very fun for me. So I am going to go with the Huey, Dewey, and Louie topiary, found kind of over there. Test Track is the nearest thing, but it's kind of out on its own, but pretty close to Test Track. So we'll say over by Test Track.
Okay.
Matt, what is your second favorite one? And I shouldn't have let you go first, but it's fine. I have a standby number one.
So my second one is one that actually isn't back this year, and it's back in the Germany Pavilion. It is going to be Snow White with Dopey and with Doc, I believe.
It's back there.
No, it's not. They replaced it with the gnomes.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is still back there.
I thought that they moved it. Oh no, it's showing in the Germany Pavilion, but the one in that spot is the gnomes this year. So I wonder if it's in a different position. But so Snow White kind of holding her dressed out. Dopey being Dopey. And one of my favorite things about this one is a memory I have with Braden. We're sitting out there and we're waiting on the girls to get out of the bathroom, and there's these little green lizards like all over Snow White's face. And Braden's like, Snow White has lizards on her. So just a fun little memory of that topiary. But again, these are all really well done, so it's hard to say, hey, this is a much better done one than the other one. No, they're all really well done, and you can really get enjoyment out of all of them. So my number two is going to be Snow White and the couple of dwarves that she was with back by the Germany Pavilion. Peter, where are you going with your number two?
Boy, there's a lot of great ones around the World Showcase, but I am going to go with my number two, because that way I will preserve two number ones, because I'm afraid that you are going to steal my true number one, and it's fine. I'm going to go to China, to the Panda topiary.
Okay.
I think the Panda topiary is so fun. It's kind of right there in the gardens area to that left-hand side. So you've already got the beautiful kind of lily pad bamboo style little nature area that's always really peaceful. You've got the fountains and everything like that going off. You've got the pagoda in the background, the Chinese pagoda, not the Japanese pagoda.
Sure.
And the pandas are really fun because one of them's kind of like laying on its back playing, and another one's sitting upright, and the third one's kind of like half tuck and rolling. And so it's just very whimsical and very fun. You can just sort of like see these baby pandas just like messing around in the same way that you kind of see them. You see all those fun videos online because pandas are, of course, one of those charismatic megafaunas that get conservation efforts lots and lots of money donated. Nobody cares about the amphibians that are going extinct, but yeah, the big black and white fuzzballs, so really, really great topiary. Really, really fun. Just the way that they captured movement in this still is one of my favorite things about that topiary. So the pandas in China are definitely worth checking out.
There you go. All right, let's go to our number ones. Before I give you my number one, let's talk a little bit about the website. If you have a better idea for a top three, or if you have a better number one, number two, or number three than we did, put it over in the chat, put it in the comments to let us know. And then if you have a idea for a top three, go over to our website, patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning, and on the top of that page you will see a little text box where you can give us your idea for our next top three. Do that today, because we're not running out of ideas. We have a ton of ideas, but we'd love to have more listener ideas, and that's awesome. So my number one, God, I'm like between two. It's like there's the obvious one, and then there's one that's just like, man, this is really cool. I am going to go with a relatively obvious one, and one of probably the most viewed topiaries, and I'm going to go with Beauty and the Beast in the France Pavilion. And the reason I want to go with this one is the way that they set up this topiary. It photographs unbelievably well. It's in that little like alleyway that goes back to the old creperie, and that dining area where you can get the eclairs and the little pastry desserts, the other pastry desserts and that kind of stuff. But it's between like the fountain and like at the very front of the first flower bed on that. So you can photograph it from through the fountain, you can photograph it from behind the fountain. And they are, Belle's in her ball gown, Beast is in his formal attire, they're dancing. It's a very, very well done topiary, and kind of like one of those standard character and country topiaries that does really well. That's probably going to be there every time they do Flower and Gardens. So my number one is Beauty and the Beast. Peter, where are you going with your number? Well, before you tell us where you're going with your number one, where can people find you?
As I say every week on this segment of the show, find me on Facebook, and I'd be happy to talk to you and get you going. I've got a whole, it was funny, for the last like 2 months, I've been like, oh yeah, things are kind of slow, and what? Stop giving me thumbs ups.
Oh, I wasn't trying to give you thumbs ups.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so I've been saying, things are slow. Things are really picking up. So, especially with those 2025 bookings available, but obviously, last chance spring break trips are still absolutely a thing. Fall break trips and Christmas, winter holiday type breaks are, great time to get started on planning those things as we get closer and closer to those. So find me over on Facebook, Princess and the Mouse Disney Travel. I'd love to connect with you and start getting this thing planned. My number one, Matt actually didn't take either of my two. So I am curious if my number one is going to hit his other number one. But my number one favorite topiary is in Japan. Yep. And is the big, massive, it is so stunning to look at. It's framed against this nice Japanese archway looking out at the lake, which then looks out at the globe. And so it is one of my favorite pictures that Matt and I set up while we were on our, as Shannon calls it, our business trip. It was one of my favorite pictures that Matt and I set up while we were there. And it is the dragon, because it is built. It doesn't look like a dragon. It looks like a festival dragon. And so those big ornate costumes with those big ornate heads were like 8 guys getting a line, the same ones that the Huns were magically standing inside of, but nobody questioned why the big costumed dragon came all the way up the stairs within 6 feet of the emperor. They just said, oh yeah, why wouldn't the dragon walk all the way up the stairs with us? Yeah. But that's what I'm talking about, and that's what this topiary is. It's a really, really cool topiary, and it is definitely in my list of top 3. In reason, there's movement, there's very, very great decoration on the front of it, and again, you kind of like, it's amazing what they are able to tell in terms of story with just simply, some fake shrubbery. The Knights Who Say Knee would be very impressed.
That is 2 Knights Who Say Knee references in 3 weeks.
Well, technically, they're not the Knights Who Say Knee. Now they're the Knights Who Say icky, 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 knee, wong, boing.
Unless they have changed again.
It could be. They could be back to me. Who do we know?
It's been a long time. Well, at Comic-Con, if you go to Indiana Comic-Con, you can ask John Cleese.
Perfect.
Yeah. We can ask him if there's
John
still the
Cleese,
Knights.
What are the Knights saying now?
All right. Well, thank you guys, everybody, for joining us for this week's top 3. Great episode. Top topiaries at Flower and Garden. It's very timely, even though we didn't time it out that way. Don't do that. Then they think we actually plan these, and this was completely unplanned. This show was completely unplanned. There's no template or anything tonight.
That's true. Matt and I talked earlier. He's like, I hope to make it home in time.
So another good show. Hey, thanks for checking us out today. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons to help out the channel. Also, if you're looking for some more Disney content, check this out. I think you're going to like it.